Welcome back, everybody, to Pick and Roll. This is your daily NBA betting show powered by the Hammer Betting Network. I am back as your host, Jacob Gramegna, hosting Pips NBA. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Could be better if we hit the bill yesterday, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Unfortunate on yesterday's bets. We will cover that in just a second here. We do have a loaded slate that we want to discuss tonight and two official picks that we're going to get to later. But of course, we're going to be transparent. We're going to talk about yesterday's picks. So we had Christian Wood over, I believe it was 16 and a half points. That was no problem. That was easy. And that was
Yeah.
on the lean, excuse me. On that, and the second lean was Dallas -4 against the Pelicans. After we make the bet, we get confirmation, no Herb Jones, no Zion, no Brandon Ingram, yet the Pelicans still win outright in that one, unfortunately, even though we got some good close. It was a good bet at a good number. The process was good, just didn't work out. And the Beal one, super unfortunate. Bradley Beal, bit passive in the first quarter, didn't look like he was maybe fully healthy, exits the game, doesn't come back to the third quarter. At that point, the Wizards have pretty much already wrapped it up. So Bradley Beal can't quite get it done. If he had played the full game, I think we may have had it. But these are the things you have to understand in betting. And did you catch any of those games yesterday?
Yeah, I watched them. I skipped only Oklahoma City Thunders because and at the end they won,
They
but
won.
Clippers rest Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Morris. So yeah, it was and Shai was playing, which was
Yeah.
a huge surprise to me. But yeah, and they won, and I watched every game. Bill was that was an interesting spot. I mean, he was like a ghost in the first quarter, and then came back with 2 minutes left in the third. Started crazy good on in the fourth, scored 11 points in 5 minutes, and when he started going, it was already 20 plus lead for the Wizards, and he just uh, exited the game. And the best game of the night was Phoenix and the Golden State Warriors,
Yeah.
and it was also a blowout. So nothing interesting tonight, last night.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunate with those bets, it's going to happen. Obviously, you're not going to win every bet. It's about the process. And I like to look at bets like, looking back, would I've made that again? And I would have for both the Dallas -4, which we got excellent closing line on, and the Bradley Beal, which we got over on 22 and a half points at -120. That closed at -140. So those are good picks. They don't work out. It's the nature of handicapping. But there's a loaded slate tonight. Let's not dwell on that. Let's move into what we're going to have for tonight here. Two bets coming later, but we did want to briefly touch on my Toronto Raptors, as you can see. And Pips as well wanted to discuss this one. Raptors coming off a comeback win against the Heat. Any thoughts on this one as the Raptors play the 1-3 Philadelphia 76ers at
Yeah.
home?
So most interesting in this game for Paul will be the way Toronto Raptors decide to defend Joel Embiid and his pick and roll with James Harden. That's like the key for the game. And interesting bet for me will be Pascal Siakam, but the book is opened line at 23 and a half, and he scored exactly 23 points in three out of the four games this season. So I'm not quite ready to pull a trigger on 23. But if Barnes is questionable, so if they announce that he's playing, the line could probably drop to the 22 and a half, and I would like that spot for sure.
Yeah,
But we need
and
to wait for Barnes news.
certain things that I like to look for when the Raptors are playing against a player like Joel Embiid, I do like to look at superstar point totals going against the Raptors. Right now, you can get some pretty juiced up spots on 27 and a half. You can also find some 28s and a half. But what Nick Nurse, Raptors coach, likes to do, sorry, microphone issues. What Nick Nurse likes to do against players like Joel Embiid is just anybody but that player can beat us.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what they like to look for when it comes to Joel Embiid. They throw all these super athletic guys on him. They will triple team Joel Embiid if it means not losing to him. So sometimes I like looking at those spots
yeah.
as well. So maybe something to consider here.
One of the things I look in the same spot against the Raptors is maybe like Embiid assists and corner guys and threes. because when they doubled him up, he's like passing out the double team, and these guys are wide open for most of the game. So yeah, Tobias Harris threes and maybe like Joel Embiid assist, but it's super juiced. So I wouldn't call it a like official bet, but it's something to look up to.
Yeah, and interestingly, just going off that, Joel Embiid assist numbers 2.5, as you said, and super juiced. So maybe you find somewhere that moves to 3.5, maybe something to consider. But similar handicap where, hey, it's not going to be Joel Embiid beating the Raptors today, so somebody else has to do it. So interesting spot there. And I mean, I think that's just going to be a fun game to watch in general. Raptors, I mean, I like the Raptors, but they're always fun to watch playing the Sixers. A little bit of beef between the two teams from their playoff series last year, and the Sixers desperate to get a win here at 1-3. So let's transition into some of the official picks. And the first game we want to discuss that contains an official pick is the Miami Heat, who just played the Raptors back to back. They are now heading to Portland to play the Trailblazers. And what do we have here?
So my official bet for this game will be Tyler Hero over 20.5 points. I think he's minus 125 at DraftKings and Caesars. So yeah.
Yeah, so
And
Tyler
the re-
Hero. Sorry. Tyler Hero coming off that game against the Raptors where he actually didn't get a ton of play time, but expecting things to change here.
yeah, he had like one of the toughest matchups in the league so far. Like 4 games, one against the Bulls without Lavine, so he get the Caruso guard him. Then a game against the Boston Celtics. Of course, they are probably the best defensive team in the league. And then 2 games in a row with Toronto. I mean, as you said, like they are trying to cover the best players and to let Lowry beat them, and guys like Strus and I don't know, but they are like went to full press Hero and Butler, and yet again Hero is coming into this game after scoring 23 points against the Bulls, 25 against the Boston, 22 in the last game with Toronto, while I think he was 2 from 9 from 3, which is like he managed to go over without his three falling down. And as you mentioned, the game where he scored only 14 points was he was limited with foul trouble, and if he gets his usual minutes, he will be on a way to hit the 4 straight overs.
Yeah, and I think another part of this handicap could be the fact that he's kind of jostling for ball handling reps with Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry has not been playing well this season. I love Kyle Lowry as a Raptors fan, but Kyle Lowry is shooting 28% on the year. He had 1 field goal made in that entire game against the Raptors. More of the ball might be heading towards Tyler Hero instead. You actually showed me a graph. Do you want me to pull up that graph that you showed me for the stream? So
yeah. So this graph shows combined this season and last season for Hero games, and this shows only with 32 plus minutes in the games where he played more minutes, and he's expected to play like 35 tonight. So yeah, he hit the over in 68% of the games, so that's pretty good. And especially if we take a look at the Portland backcourt defense, I mean, they have probably the worst duo in the league. Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, like, it will be difficult to decide which one is worse. And Butler is getting a pretty good matchup with Grant, who is great defensive player, and it won't be easy for him. So more usage for Hero here.
yeah, it's funny with Portland. We've spent so many years saying the Portland Trailblazers, this 2 guard combo of guys who can't defend, Lillard and McCollum for so long, isn't going to work. So they traded McCollum, and then they give Simons a big paycheck, and now they have another, 2 great guards who can't really defend. So
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to be very
I'll
good for
actually
them
say
all
that
year.
Simons is even worse than CJ was.
Oh, I
At least,
agree.
CJ at least has the size for the position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. But Portland run it back there. I think that's a team that will have to be happy to be in the play-in tournament. But
yeah,
long
sure.
season ahead, of course. But
Yeah.
that's the way I feel in the loaded West. So with that, we got one more official play for you guys today. And we're going to go to maybe one of the more marquee games just by branding, maybe not actually for talent on court, but we do have the Los Angeles Lakers who are going to Denver, going to the Mile High spot. It's a really tough place to play in Denver, but you do like some Lakers players in this one. So we do have an official bet. What do you have?
Yeah. My official bet for this will be a same game parlay because I like two plays for this game. That's Davis over 24 and a half on his regular line, and LeBron James over assist on 7 in the half line. But I just don't trust this Lakers team to bet two players on the same game. So this is like a blowout protection for me, taking two alternatives line, Davis over 21 and a half points and LeBron James over 20 over 5.5 assists. And combining that makes minus 110 at DraftKings and Bet MGM.
And
Uh,
I just wanted to ask a little bit on this one. So Denver, maybe not the best defensive team. They're still a good team though. And the Lakers 0-3. They have not looked good so far this season.
they look terrible,
Okay,
but
yeah, I was just trying to be a little bit nice, but
yeah.
what you like Davis and LeBron though for this one still?
Yeah, in the last game against Portland, they were like playing the side pick and roll like a bunch of times, and it worked. And this is a great correlation between the two. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that has a lot of value. And the thing is, Denver is currently allowing the most points in the league. Like they are currently the worst defensive team in the league, and Lakers should be able to score. And one of the most important thing for this bet is Russell Westbrook is doubtful for this game, and if he sits out, that's even more touches for Davis and LeBron, and the spacing should be better also, so that will help. And LeBron has almost 15 potential assists on average a game, and with no Russell Westbrook, that should go way up. So yeah, I think
I,
this is pretty nice.
I'm only laughing a little bit because I think the Lakers are more likely to win because Russell Westbrook is injured. I don't want to be rude, but I feel like they're really trying to force him out there. Do you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree.
It just,
Completely
I mean,
agree.
that one against Portland. Oh my God. If you guys haven't seen it, there was like probably around 30 seconds left where there's 30 seconds left. The Lakers were down by, I think, 1 point.
1 point.
And Russell Westbrook in transition, nobody defending him, like full shot clock, just took a mid-range jumper that I don't even think it hit the rim. I think it just went off the backboard and out. Just the timing and just what was he thinking? That's just one of many that
Westbrook
you
in
see with
thinking is
Westbrook.
a reach. Yeah, he's always done some not so smart moves, and he's crazy athletic. But late into the games, he ruined so many games with his, I don't know how to call it,
His
but it's not
decision
smart.
making. I'll say his
Yeah,
decision
his
making.
decision making late into the games.
So,
So I also think the Lakers have more chance to stay at least in the game for enough time so this bet can hit.
okay. So we like the fact the Lakers don't have Russ, more touches for Braun, and more touches for AD. We're gonna go with that single game parlay there. We had a request from the first episode to recap the play, so I'll recap them right here. First official play, we're going to the Heat at the Blazers. Tyler Hero over 20.5 points. You heard the handicap, minus 125 there. If he gets his minutes, he goes over this point total very frequently, and maybe a little bit less of the ball going to Kyle Lowry, more in the hands of Tyler Hero, who's just coming off some tough matchups against the Raptors defense. We like this play here. Second one we go to, we have the Lakers who are going to the Nuggets. And like we said, Nuggets defense isn't great. No Russ, more touches for the best players on LA in Davis and LeBron. We have a single game parlay there, minus 110 at DraftKings or MGM. Again, guys, these are good bets at the time that we put them down here. We record this at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. Later in the day, especially yesterday, we saw these lines can move. We like them at these numbers, so make sure you plan accordingly if you're catching this later and the lines aren't different. It's okay to miss out on one or two. Just remember to catch us here. Pick and roll goes live, like I said, every single weekday at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time to give you the best bets for the NBA slate on that night, Monday to Friday. Catch us on YouTube at The Board NBA. Catch us on Twitter at The Board NBA, or also on Twitter at The Hammer HQ. Next week, we will be available on Twitch. I'll have that account set up next week. And also, if you can't catch us live, this is also available on your favorite podcast platform. Right now, just Spotify, but it will be on Apple Podcasts very soon as they approve us. Any final thoughts, Pips, before we wrap up episode 2 here?
Yeah, just hopefully we get our guys to play enough minutes, just for them to have a chance to win enough minutes. That's only
absolutely.
I ask.
So from us here, you can catch us both on Twitter at Jacob Gramegna and at PipsNBA. You can also catch my work on YouTube at Amateur Sports. You like Raptors, you'll like my channel, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video from Pick and Roll. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.